Chris Jones becomes the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL with a new 5-year, $159 million deal, basically 158.75. Do you think this contract was too big? Defensive tackles are a little bit of an anomaly. I feel like it's Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, and then maybe everywhere else, either playing as a linebacker or an edge. What were your thoughts on this massive payday for Chris Jones, where it basically now nets him the highest paid defensive tackle in the league over Aaron Donald?
I think this was a situation where the Chiefs were lucky because the salary cap spiked. If the salary cap did not spike, they probably would have lost Chris Jones. And with the salary cap spiking, they were now able to keep him, and they may be able to now keep Jarius Sneed on the franchise tag.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, for the deal for Chris Jones, I think it's easy to say, why are you paying a defensive lineman that much money? But we know the impact Chris Jones has had on that defense, the big plays he's made, the leader he's been on that defense for years in Kansas City. Kansas City's had their best defense since Mahomes has been there this past year, and he was a big part of that. And so for them, they're just viewing him as like, listen, we want you to finish your career here. You're one of the leaders of the defense here.
Mm-hmm.
You are still a big play defensive tackle. You can still disrupt. You can still close games. We are willing. This may be a little bit of also what the Lakers kind of did with Kobe in his last couple of years, where they gave him his big contract, kind of like almost like a legacy contract. What you've done here, plus what you have produced recently, we feel like is worth giving you this deal. So overall, I think, the Chiefs did what they feel like they need to do. They wanted to keep the core in place. I believe they look at Chris Jones as part of the core guys, and they want him to, like I said, continue to be that game wrecker. Especially, again, you're playing a division where you go against Justin Herbert. I mean, Aiden O'Connell, I guess, is just a guy for the Raiders, but you're going to get Matthew Stafford. So, those guys are not, outside of Herbert, they're not the most mobile guys in the world. So if Chris Jones can get pressure up the middle, which is the worst place as a quarterback you want pressure from, it could be big, because you just got to think about what he's meant to this defense the last few years. Because, he has made big plays. He's made big plays.
Especially in the playoffs and the AFC Championship against Joe Burrow, man. Woo!
Exactly. So that's the big thing, I think, there for the Chiefs, and why they went ahead and made this move. They just happened to be able to get that $30 million cap spike and say, oh, we can pay Chris Jones now. We don't have to lose our best defensive player on our team.
Right. Yeah, Chris Jones definitely got a big payday. This is his third deal, and it's a big one. It's his biggest one. 4 weeks after winning his third Super Bowl, he comes and cashes in. And like we've always said, if there's 3 positions you pay in the NFL, it's quarterback, edge rusher, and corner. Like, you always pay those guys. You got to have someone to distribute the football. You got to have someone to get on the guy's ass who's distributing the football. And you have to have someone defend against the guy who's putting the football in the air. There's always no question that you pay those 3 guys. Like I said, highest paid DT in the league, the average of $31.75 million. I think that's the huge eye opener to me. It surpasses the $31.67 average from the 3-year, $95 million deal that Aaron Donald got in 2022. And when you look into the deal for Chris Jones, what it basically comes out to is about a 3-year deal with a practical guarantee of $95.3 million, which literally surpassed Aaron Donald's of $95 million. There's an offseason workout bonus of $100,000 with each of the 5 years, which kind of gives him that bump and that edge there. Although 3 years aren't fully guaranteed at signing, the Chiefs would have to cut him after 1 year to avoid the $95 million obligation. If they do, they would owe him $60.2 million for 1 year. They have an option on the final 2 years. It remains to be seen whether the Chiefs will pay him $28.5 in 2027 when he's 32, or at 33 when that salary becomes literally the same age as him at $33.5 million. But yeah, Chris Jones has always held it down. I mean, you look with him. I'm trying to make sure I have the numbers here. You look with him, he had 10.5 sacks last year, 15.5 sacks the year before, 9 sacks the year before that. So he's given you about 35 sacks over the last 3 years, and he's going to be in the backfield, 13 tackles for loss this year, 17 tackles for loss the year before, 8 the year before that, back-to-back first-team All-Pro, back-to-back Super Bowl champion, going to be chasing the three-peat. I think this was a no-brainer for sure that the Chiefs had to lock him up because, again, next to Aaron Donald, Chris Jones is that one in line, if not the best right now, and, of course, the payday says that he's going to be the best and the highest paid defensive tackle. We already talked about if it was really mandatory for Kansas City. I think there was no
Mm.
question. Like we said, you pay the guy that locks down the defensive line, who can stuff the run, who can get after the quarterback. He's in those top three non-negotiable positions that you have to pay. And I'm happy for Chris Jones. I think he deserved this payday. He earned it. And when you look at how Kansas City is going to have a very effective playmaker on the defensive side of the ball, who's in its prime right now with Steve Spagnuolo, I think they should do everything in their power really is over, keep Spagnola and Chris Jones in place, and I think they'll be in very good hands. And if they continue to draft guys like Trent McDuffie, get guys like L'Jarius Sneed, it's going to be solid in the secondary, no question about it.